let's not suspend our brains because of elections. Okay, let's not suspend thinking, and let's not excuse misbehavior because of elections and politics. Because if you excuse bad behavior because that's politics, it will translate into governance. Because my argument is that bad politics leads to bad governance. If your politics is dishonest, your governance cannot be honest. If the system that brings you to power is corrupt, you cannot do you understand? If you have to bribe delegates to vote for you, what sensible thing can you come and do? You can't. So let's not excuse misbehavior in the name of politics. Let's have decorum. I was having a reflection today. Have you ever seen a chief shouting before?
Hardly.
A chief of any ethnic group in Ghana shouting. Don't they get angry?
They do.
Why do you think our elders give them linguists? Because a word of a chief is very powerful. So they want to be sure that what comes out is refined. And they also have the sense to know that one man cannot contain all wisdom. When I listen to the Otunfo talking, listen to the way the linguist, and you know this better than I do. The linguist contextualizes, elaborates, and sometimes even edits based on his knowledge of what the chief originally wanted to say when they met in the chamber. So we don't have linguists because chiefs can't talk for themselves. We have linguists because traditionally we believe that kings must speak with decorum. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sure.
So when Otunfo speaks, or any chief speaks, so linguists are highly trained, highly respected. Highly. And the chief doesn't say, and the linguist doesn't sit on a palanquin, you know. But when the words of a chief comes out, because we believe that to rule, you must know how to talk. And I think the MPP have to seriously look at their running mate and speak to him. Because you cannot come out of the chief's palace and make certain comments and expect us to clap for you in the name of politics. No. Because president is also leadership. Vice president is leadership. And the leader must know how to speak. He has to take a cue from the Otunfo. Don't justify it. And people in the MPP must talk to him. That no, you cannot. No. You want to be president of Ghana? No. There's a way you have to talk. Because we in Ghana, talking is important to us. That's why we all have linguists. I even argue that the way we've structured our politics, I've said this many times, we have not resolved the tension between some of our traditional practices and the demands of a political system. I give you two examples. Our traditional system is based on consensus building. So conflict resolution, me and Sky can have a major issue over land. We will make our case before the chief. His decision is either final or I can appeal it. But I don't go to the chief's palace and be shouting at Sky. They'll say, I'm angry with Sky. I can shout to Sky in my house. No, when we enter the chief's palace, the rules of court mean that I have to even get someone to talk for me. Because maybe me, I don't even know how to talk. When the chief sits in state to listen to me, now compare that to our parliament. There's a tension there. Because our parliament is built on the so-called adversarial system. Listen to the way they shout. And so as a people, development means you have to resolve the tensions between your practices, your values, your mores. Somebody has to come up with new rules, even standing orders that reflect the way we do things.
Yeah.
Because I don't go to a chief's palace and hear majority that shouting, minority that banging table. No traditional area, even the smallest, would that ever be permitted. Ever. But we say we've gone to school and we've gone to take the white man's method. And we say it's adversarial. So we've gone to Westminster to have a PhD. And you go to parliament and somebody is speaking and somebody is shouting from the back. They say they are backbenchers. So that's number one. That tells you that there is a tension between what we are trying to practice and how we live. Number two, chiefs don't shout. That doesn't mean they don't get angry. Leadership. So even the campaigns we do, it's funny. Right? Well, we say we are doing politics, so this yeah shouting, Joe boy. So boy is usually mass mobilization people. So usually the labor unions, the service forces to morale for people to do the thing. Or yes, they can protest. But political communication and shouting and insulting is not really what we are made of. But we've adopted it and we've created this culture where anything said on the platform is allowable because it's politics. No, we have to reject that. So maybe this Napo will help us beyond Napo himself. That we are tired though. It's not. We don't need shout. We need ideas. We don't need shout. We need credibility. So don't come and shout. Fine, you are speaking to your foot soldiers, but what does the shouting do for us? What is the benefit of that shout? What is the benefit of it? So let's not excuse talking down to people and disrespect and say he was doing politics. No, it's wrong. And let him not justify it by saying that we didn't understand him. We are not fools. We listened to you. We all saw what you said. We heard you. Now, if you speak and we have to now think 10 times to understand you, then means the problem is you, not us. So don't come and tell us that you spoke the truth and we misunderstood you. No. What you do is to say, look, Mankani, didn't you hear Akufo-Addo? Akufo-Addo went somewhere, the president of Ghana. He was speaking and he made a mistake. What did he do? He apologized there and then. Because he realized that the weight of what he said was Adunya. So don't go and now say, we heard you speak in a way that was not presidential. So what you need to do, and what the elders of MPP need to do, is to say no. That's if they don't endorse it, unless they endorse what he's doing. Because we have to, you see, development is also value-based.
Yep.
Respect, truth, honesty. So let's not excuse it and say it's politics. Well, it's been politics, and politicians have spoken like that, and we've condemned it. Politicians have said things that we've said, no, they shouldn't talk like that. So, where we are now, we should not excuse said behavior. No. So don't come and tell us that when you speak the truth, you are labeled disrespectful. What you said was wrong. The way you said it was wrong. If for nothing at all, Nkrumah is an elder. If for nothing at all, okay, he's an elder. So if you take Ghana as a continuum of time, the elders, why? Isn't he an ancestor?
Yes.
Why? Traditionally.
An ascended spirit.
Yes, he's an ancestor. So do you speak to your ancestors like that? Or about them like that? No. And what's the point of even comparing a current president to a dead one? What does that achieve? In the name of whipping? No. If we are demanding better governance, it must start from better politics. That's my argument. You cannot have good governance from a flawed political system. That's why they talk about financing politics. That's why they talk about transparency and expanding electoral courage. It must also include political communication. Because if you campaign arrogantly, you govern arrogantly. So let nobody be deceived. The MPP flag bearer needs to come again. He needs to speak in a way that is becoming of somebody who can become the vice president of a country. It's a very high office. Many of us who are not in politics, when you become a political leader, we defer to you. I was at Burma camp doing a program, or someplace, last 1st July. The Minister of Defense is a civilian.
The KRPC.
No, the other one.
The Kofi Annan.
Kofi Annan.
No, they call it the Ghana Armed Staff
Ga-
College. I was observing
the Ghana Armed Forces
observing the
Staff
soldiers.
College.
They were arranging people to sit in the green room before we go and sit down. And the commandant said, this seat is for the Minister of Defense. So nobody will sit there until he comes. Most of these guys are older than him. Possibly more experienced than him. And possibly more accomplished. When he comes, everybody stood up and we made him sit down and then we started talking. Then the decorum and the respect. Why? Because we've all agreed that you've won elections, you are the Minister of Defense, and therefore we respect you. So politicians need to know that there are many professionals who can also do politics but don't do it. So it's a high office. And that's such a high office means that there are people who are professors. So, but you can have a minister who is just a first degree holder. When Black was Deputy Minister of Education, I don't think that had a master's degree, but there were professors who were VCs.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't conduct himself as a politician well, he may be in that position, but it will even be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the political office, we've created a system where we elevate political power. So the people who have the power must behave in a way that merits the respect we've all given them. Winning elections doesn't mean you have sense than everybody. Or running for election doesn't mean you all of a sudden understand leadership better than people who have run companies for years. It's because of the system we've created. So you won election, so you are minister. Respect yourself and respect us. Don't think that because you won election, it means that all wisdom dwells in you. No. No. Our traditional system. That's why the chief has a council. And the chief is the embodiment of the people who. He sits on that stool to represent all that we have gone through. But even he listens to counsel before he talks. And when he talks, somebody polishes it. Because when the chief's word fall on the ground, it's like egg. You can't bring it back together. That's what tradition teaches us. We have to think deeply about the system we are running and say, is this politics how Ghana? How can you develop? When traditionally you have a way, and I'm not saying that our traditional system was perfect, but it's what we are. I have not seen a chief eating in public before. It's not because eating is a sin. We are denigrating many things these days, right? And I want to urge us to. This is the time for thinking. Let's not suspend thinking and say it's a politician. It's not. If we suspend thinking and claim it's politics, we are doing wrong. No. Let's and you know today we're saying Joe Biden. Somebody should talk to him. Somebody used to talk to NPP running mate. Say no. Now you are the running mate of NPP. You can't do that. If you have to get somebody to write your scripts for you. If you are provoked, I'll tell you one last thing. Francis Poku, he gave a lecture and I was privileged to the moderator. 1st July. He served 7 governments. He's 83 years old. So I'll take what he says. He said, when he became National Security Coordinator, this is the last thing I'll say. He got a call from Captain Kojochi Carter, who was, you can say, his rival. Because Kojochi Carter was the intelligence strength of Rawlings. And Francis Poku is now the intelligence of Kufuor in a difficult time for Ghana. He said, Kojochi Carter said, don't be provoked. Wow. He said, that's what Kojochi Carter told him. Don't be provoked. Because your position is a very high position.
Build a lot of power.
Don't be provoked. And of all the things he came to say to us, that's what I remembered. He said, don't be provoked. That's what Francis Poku said publicly to us about what Kojochi Carter told him. Don't be provoked easily. A word to the wise is enough.